The article I'm going to be looking at is called Marx, Capitalism, and Alienation. Um, the author's argument in this article is that in modern industrial production, under the capitalist conditions, workers will inevitably lose control of their lives by losing control over their work. For example, like before capitalist um, conditions, workers such as blacksmiths had control to what they made, how they made it, their hours of work, um, compared to after the capitalist, where there's a steady 9 to 5 job. You work as a factory assembly line, and you do the same thing over and over again. Real liberty does not exist unless workers effectively control their workplace. Some of the author's points was that workers typically do not work under their own direction. They are assembled in large factories, offices, and they work under close supervision of like a hierarchy of managers who do most of their important thinking for them. This takes the creativity away from the work. It allows the workers who may not be smart to go in and just simply do their job. Workers do not control the process of their work because they do not own the means of production, such as the factories, offices, land, machines, raw materials, fuel, and anything else necessary to make the product. So, when workers are finished with their products, they don't technically own them, so they must leave them regardless. And a lot of the workers can't even afford the products that they make in those factories. And managers sometimes make up to over 100 times the amount that workers make. Um, when we look at the aspects of alienation, Marx has 4 aspects. The first, which is workers against work or productive activity, and this is like the loss of the creative potential and how capitalism reduces work to repetition. So if there's an assembly line and your job is to screw a door handle onto a door, and you continuously do this, and then the next person does the next part of the door, and so on and so on. Another aspect of alienation from Marx is the second one is worker against the object, and this is when they don't have the creative input over the objects like they produce, and they don't have any control over the object whatsoever, and they like something like they don't have they can't control it. The third is workers against worker, and this states that like isn't a social environment anymore, and it becomes really competitive, and workers compete for jobs and raises and promotions, and it kind of pins workers up against workers and leaves the top hierarchy system alone. The fourth aspect of alienation that we see is workers against like a species being. This another way to look at this is like workers against like the human potential. Work is not like a creative mechanism to meet needs. It's just a way to make like money in order to buy objects and supplies so that you can survive and take care of your family. This reduces like humans to like a pseudo animal existence. Like you're just trying to survive. You do what you can to survive. Another important part of Marx's alienation is to understand like use value and exchange value. Use value is like what an object could be used for, such as a chair. You can use it to sit, as opposed to exchange value, where exchange value is what it is sold for to acquire a profit. Um, yep, and that's it.